Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Life After Kids with Doctors Brooke and Lynne. I'm Dr. Brooke.
And I'm Dr. Lynne.
And we're so glad you're here. Thanks for joining us.
Welcome. We're talking this week about adult play.
That sounds a little risque.
I know. When we wrote that down, we thought, oh gosh, there's some connotations to that. But in this light, we're talking about keeping things light. How can you keep your heart light and your soul youthful? And the whimsy and the creativity and just that attitude of playfulness throughout your day is one of those ways to do that. So we're bringing that to light.
I love this conversation because I think we have the tendency to just take life and ourselves too seriously all the time. We're always rushing. There's always the next thing to do. We're always worried about the kids. There's always something. And
there's not a week that goes by that I don't tell myself internally, take your head out of your ass. And
do you really?
I mean, a lot. Because it's so very true. I find myself, we just go inner telescope in and we're so zoned into what are we doing? What are we achieving? And sometimes we just need to step back and say, what we're doing is not at the center of the world. That life will go on if we don't check this box or, make this sale or whatever that thing is that we're doing. I mean, those things are important, don't get me wrong. But what is life if we don't celebrate it and we don't have a sense of playfulness in our days?
That's right. And I would say that playfulness is just having that play, that whimsy piece, and where you're just enjoying yourself just because you're enjoying yourself is just as important as the work we do. But it doesn't get enough focus. It doesn't get enough of our, not that we're doing this like half and half maybe, but it's important to our health. It's important to us, right?
Yeah, it's finding a way to be both, getting your things done during the day, but also having this attitude where you can laugh and smile and enjoy what you're doing. So there's a lot at work there, because if you are somebody who's struggling right now or going through a hard time, I do think it is a perspective and a choice that you can make. We may not be able to change those circumstances, but we can choose how we react. And is there a way that we could laugh at ourselves, laugh at our situation, and still understand the dire, circumstance that we're in,
right? And
have appreciation for that and give weight to that.
Yeah, I think that it's so true. This is an important piece of life. I think it's an important piece of thriving in midlife is finding those funny moments, even in the midst of sometimes when it's hard, being able to laugh at yourself and not take yourself so seriously, being able to laugh. Sometimes, how many times have I said this? Sometimes all you can do is laugh.
Yes, right?
I mean, I've been in my history with like some of the emotional, mental things that I've gone, mental is a weird, you know what I mean? Like with the anxiety and stuff like that. Sometimes the best way to pull me out of it really is to have my husband just make fun of me. It sounds ridiculous, but when we start joking about it, because then I realize how ridiculous my mind is being. And I have those that happens a lot where if I'm getting a bad way or I'm really struggling or this is a really serious conversation, we just need to flip it and make light of it.
You're right. It's a great strategy to just zoom out, because if we're in that place where we're so into the problem that we're trying to solve, then we're probably in it too far. And by laughing, by stopping and doing something creative, by being playful with our partner or children, we can pull out of that. And sometimes we go back into problem solving way more effective after that little break.
Yeah.
Right?
And I've done that with my kids. Like, we're a little bit of a snarky family anyway, but like if I can just get them like laughing about something or help them to see, like, and let's face it, with teens and young adults, sometimes they're just being ridiculous and they need to see that, but in a joking kind of like fun way.
Yeah.
So I think that this is a piece of the conversation, these like when you're struggling in the moment or you need a little bit of laughter, but then there's also the bigger picture of like, how do you build moments of that or time, like free time.
Practice almost.
And practice it. And I will say, like, if not for yourself, to teach to your kids, because I learned this from my mother, is like the queen of all things play and whimsy. I mean, she's just so good at bringing the most out of life and just enjoying it, and you know what I mean? And she's instilled that in me, and I'm hopefully I'm bringing that onto my
Passing that
kids
on.
too. So
yeah, because I mean, again, from a health perspective, the people that learn to not take themselves so seriously or can pull back, that's going to be something that lowers your blood pressure. It's going to, lower your cortisol. There are things happening physiologically that are so important. It helps take us out of that fight or flight and just reset back into that growth and repair mode, that part of our nervous system, right?
100%. And yeah, totally
okay,
agree.
so what are some of the ways that you would practice play, whimsy, having fun in your day-to-day with your family or with kids or just by yourself?
Yeah, I think that I mean, I don't know if it counts like things like going skiing, right? Like doing outdoor stuff with my kids. Even now, like sometimes I'll pick up a basketball with them.
Yeah.
And we'll just be goofy, shooting basketball, things
That's
like
awesome.
that.
And that has the added bonus of exercise.
Yeah, exactly. So anything I can do with them that's active, that's also play, is great. I'm always here for that. I'm here for like doing something silly like jumping in the lake later at night and stuff like that. What else do I like to do? Dancing.
Yeah, I was
Is
going to
always
say
a
our
big one for
number
me.
one is a dance party.
Yeah, and we've talked about this before.
And music is just that thing that helps me to settle down and remember what's important. And so putting that on with my family and just being silly and dancing like bad and jumping around, it does really do wonders for helping get a reset.
Totally does.
Yeah.
And that is really like whimsical, right? That's just like letting it go and having
letting
fun.
it go.
I
Let it all
also
go,
love a
girl.
good like rom-com, like a good romantic comedy.
A laugh, a big hearty laugh.
Yes, or even just like a slapstick. Like we love Melissa and McCarthy movies.
Yeah.
Like that to me is just like,
Yeah.
you want to talk about not taking yourself too seriously, right? I mean, I love those types of things too.
Yeah, I think you can even do it in your surroundings. So like there's decor that could be, reminding you on a daily basis if you look at something and it's like a funny little frog, or I'm trying to think if I have anything in my house. Those little troll guys, sometimes when I see those guys with the long hats, like I just laugh. So there's things that you can do in your surroundings that might cue you to remember to just stop and, step back. And then also I think creativity is a really big important factor in this conversation, because just having that outlet for creativity, whatever that hobby might be, art or, puzzles or embroidery, whatever it is that you do, having an outlet for creativity is also a way for us to channel our inner child, right? Which is what we're trying to remember to do, is keeping youthful has a piece of being childlike, and that what we did as children, we would play, we would engage in art projects. And I think it's really important as adults to carry that through, because it is a deep need of ours to create and to make something that brings us joy.
Yeah, that's so good. Really, like, just bringing that childlike youthfulness back to yourself.
Yeah.
So you could probably add to that list even, I'm a big fan of my rebounder, but getting on a trampoline or a rebounder and just letting yourself jump to some good music and have some fun doing it, that's huge too.
Totally.
Adult coloring books.
Oh, yeah.
I really like those too.
I haven't done those but I could find that meditative. That's something I have on my list.
Yeah, I don't know how whimsical that is, but it is childlike. I mean, I loved to color when I was young.
Yeah, that's a great tip. Just what did you love to do when you were a child? What really made you smile and just light up? And, whether that's pottery or, we all maybe took some classes when we were younger in school. Get back to that. Gosh, just what's stopping you? Yeah. Right?
One of my favorite things to do when I was young was pick on and make fun of my brothers. So I do that. I do that to you. I do that to my kids. You want to talk about being whimsical? There's nothing better than playing a practical joke on one of your kids.
I love it.
I do that. I mean, these are just little ways, but it makes life more entertaining when you're making fun of somebody, especially if it's your kids.
Most definitely if it's your kids. So.
Yeah.
All right. Good conversation.
Yeah, guys, thank you so much for joining us. Make sure you're getting some play in this week. And let us know, too. I'd love to hear some other suggestions. Like, what do you guys do?
Really good creative outlets out there.
Yeah, escape rooms. Have you done one of those?
Yes.
That's that's fun. Frustrating, but fun. Okay.
Ooh, yeah.
I could
Smash
keep
rooms.
going.
Have you done that?
No, but I just heard about that from Holly.
Yeah. Yeah.
I could get into doing a smash. We should have like a group smash. Okay. Thank you for joining us. We always love having you here. Make sure you're following us on all of our social media outlets, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. We're on Pinterest as well.
Yeah.
And www.lifeafterkids.com.
Thanks for watching, guys. Make sure you get some big laughs in this week.